Well, in 1814, we took a little trip along with Colonel Jackson down to mighty Mississippi. We took a little bacon and we took a little beans and we caught the bloody British in the town of New Orleans. We fired our guns and the British kept a comin'. There wasn't nigh as many as there was a while ago. We fired once more and they began a runnin' down to Mississippi to the Gulf of Mexico. Well, welcome to another Beyond Report. I'm your host, your friendly neighborhood PhD, Dr. Judd Burton, and a little line or two from Johnny Horton's Battle of New Orleans in honor of that hallowed day, uh, January the 8th. Although we're a few days behind, but January the 8th, 1815, some 207 years ago, which proved to be the decisive battle in the War of 1812. Uh, and But it's been a while. Welcome back to this Beyond Report on this Thursday, um, January the 13th, 2022 is under full sway. Um, I want to thank everybody for all the birthday wishes. I had a birthday January the 7th, and all of you are very kind on Facebook, and some cards and visits and phone calls and texts, and I just appreciate it. Uh, Birthday is always a good time for reflection, and it's also a good time to count your blessings as well. And I certainly did both during the course of my birthday. So thank you very much, everybody. And interestingly enough, we're still in the Christmas season. I know a lot of people don't take their Christmas decorations down until uh, February in some cases. Uh, I don't. I like to leave mine up through January. But yeah, it's still technically the Christmas season. Of course, January the 6th, Epiphany, January the 7th, some Eastern Orthodox sects celebrate Christmas on that day. January 7th, I believe that's when they celebrate Christmas in Russia. And then coming up on January the 19th, we have the Armenian Orthodox observation of Christmas. So we are technically still in the Christmas series. So Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to everyone. Now, before I get rolling along and remiss about the whole uh, show, because there's a lot to cover here in this little episode, I wanted to give a shout out to a new friend, Tori Peterson, um, who has been following um, my work and other people's work on Blurry Creatures, the podcast hosted by Nate Samuel and Luke Rogers. Um, but thank you very much for extending your support and um, supporting the work. It's a real blessing. So, um, should probably give a couple of updates too. Many of you who follow Dr. Mike Heiser's work know that he's been struggling with cancer, doing well. The last report was that the imaging that they did on the tumor after several rounds of chemo, that it had not shrunk, but it's not grown. It's not gotten any bigger or spread. So they're going. The plan now is to do another round of chemo and then reassess. I think in a couple of months whether they can go in and operate and take it out. So um, that that trial still continues. So let's all be in prayer for Mike and the Heiser family, Drina and the kiddos as well. And I also have a sad duty to relate that I heard that Doug Riggs passed away this week. A deliverance minister who's done a lot of work with satanic ritual abuse victims, and an old friend of mine as well. He's gone home to be with the Lord, so we mourn with the family, but we rejoice in his heavenly estate, as it were. Now, this week I've also got a lot of birthday deals. You guys that kept up with um, everything over the past weekend, I had a bunch. I had about seven where you could get class deals and books and things of that nature. I've got one that's rolling this week, which I'll get to towards the end of the broadcast. But just to make you aware that it's out there. I like to celebrate my birthday by making these deals available to you, because I think the coursework that the IBA does is worthwhile, and if you talk to folks that take it, I think they'll tell you the same thing. Um, so what I wanted to start off with, just in terms of current events, I suppose, news, was a story that was brought to my attention by the aforementioned Ms. Peterson about, uh, for all intents and purposes, re-education camps um, being discussed in the Washington State Legislature for people who opted not to get the vaccine. Um, I've since learned that there are 10 additional states whose legislatures are discussing that very thing. Now, if that doesn't put a chill up your spine, I don't know what will. I'll put a link in the description to the article in question. Now, in a not, I suspect, unrelated turn of events, the Department of Justice is seriously considering developing what they're terming a domestic terrorism unit, all unto itself, sort of a paramilitary unit um, designed to go after domestic terrorists. However they choose to define that seems to be the purview in which this prospective government agency is being built up. Um, I don't know. The classicist in me looks at this and thinks, well, this is just a modern Praetorian Guard for the current administration to go after people that disagree with them politically or socially or culturally, what have you. Um, Kind of disturbing, because this sort of thing is supposed to fall under the purview of the Federal Bureau of Investigation and, to an extent, the Department of Homeland Security. So why do we need another unit especially tasked with this? Particularly, uh, uh, the timing seems odd. Uh, Obama talked a lot about having a civilian kind of unit to go after so-called domestic threats. It, to quote Hamlet, something stinks in Denmark. Not Something is definitely not kosher about this, in my estimation. I'll put a link in the description to that article as well. But these kind of things remind us, I think, as believers, less about politics and cultural things, and more that there is a spiritual war at play here. And all I can say is stick to the disciplines of the faith, and remember you have kingdom work, but also to brace yourself, because we're just bringing to bear the training that I have on all of this. It just seems to me that we're on the precipice of a cultural trajectory change in humanity that we have not seen since the late Mesolithic period, the late Pleistocene, the period just before the Younger Dryas cataclysm. Quite frankly, not since the Watchers touched down on Mount Hermon and began the so-called Genesis 6 experiment. So these are troubling times on one regard, but reassuring in another, because we see biblical truth and biblical knowledge affirmed daily, almost hourly, in this time. So be prayerful, be mindful. If you're wondering about avenues, we're about to up your game and gain more biblical knowledge. Again, I'm offering coursework through the Institute of Biblical Anthropology, and the deal this week for coursework, the 6 programs offered, is you can get one for $90, price which I probably won't be able to offer again, or you could get 2 for $125. So it's almost like a 2-for-1 kind of a thing, and you can choose from any of the programs: biblical anthropology, biblical demonology, preternatural morphology. That's the Monsters 101 program that's so popular right now. Mythology, and then I also have ancient Near Eastern civilization and a Mediterranean civilization program as well. Books are 15% off this week through my bookstore. I'll put links in the description to all this stuff. If you're interested in coursework, you can email me at professorburton@yahoo.com. Um, so, we should constantly be in spiritual training anyway, in the Word and prayer. But these are some ways that you can sharpen your skills, and there's always room for more students. The number is growing. So, having said all that, I've got some appearances behind me, and I have a couple in front of me. I recently did Judith Koba's broadcast. She's out of Germany, does a really good job, and we talked about the world before the flood and the flood itself. I'll be appearing on Ayala Nunez's program. We're recording this Sunday. I suspect it'll broadcast the following week, where we'll be talking about giants in ancient America, and how they manipulated culture while they were here. And that same day, on Derek Gilbert's View from the Bunker, we're going to record a roundtable discussion on mythology, and it will center around some of the identities of the Watchers, and lining those up with other pantheons as well. That's going to be fun. That's going to include Derek Gilbert, whose recent book, The Second Coming of Saturn, is just out. Brian Godawa, noted author, screenwriter, filmmaker. My good buddy Doug Van Dorn, the discoverer of the Serpent Mound. And I believe Josh Peck is going to be joining us, and of course yours truly. And it should be a really interesting time. And I'm also looking forward to appearing on Kenny C's The Rock program, which he I understand, partially named that program The Rock after reading about my research on Peneus and Jesus' visit there. So, a lot going on at Burton Beyond and the Institute of Biblical Anthropology. And again, as always, I appreciate everybody's support. And, if you like the content, please click a like, subscribe, and share. Looks like we're almost at 2,000 subscribers, so let's keep pushing that. And everybody take care. Godspeed, and we'll see you very soon.